Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back and I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty, and today I have an exciting video, okay? We are talking all about the new brushes from Singe Beauty by Angelica Nyqvist, and I have been patiently waiting for this launch. I knew it was coming, right? Angie had kind of mentioned it, you know, she has upcoming launches for her brand, and I'm like, what's it gonna be? I wanna see, and I was even more excited when they reached out to me and offered to send me these brushes in PR. Like, I was gonna say no. I was gonna buy them anyway to support Angie, so I was even more excited when they sent me a full set for me to test and try out. I'll have to test out the sponge and the puff separately because they were sent in different shipments, but these brushes I was so excited to get my hands on and share them with you guys. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, we're gonna do a demonstration. We're gonna talk all about the brushes, the full collection. I'm gonna show you them up close and personal. If that's something that you want to get into with me, then let's go ahead and jump right into it. Before we even dive into the collection, I want to first say congrats to Angie. I am so proud of her for creating this brand and bringing her vision to life. She is one of the most hardworking people in this beauty space, okay? Angie posts videos consistently. She uploads almost daily. I know she's backed off a little bit, so I think she's doing only 5 videos a week. But talk about consistency. She's always uploading to YouTube. Instagram, she does shorts, she does Instagram reels, she's on TikTok. Like, this girl is killing the game, all right? And she's a sweetheart while still remaining true to herself and her personality and not trying to be sugary sweet, which I absolutely adore because I'm the same way, right? Angie speaks her mind. She'll be very honest, and I absolutely love that about her. And if there was ever someone on YouTube that I would say is a boss bitch, it would be Angie, okay? Her work ethic, I aspire. And I told her today, I'm like, girl, your thumbnails are the best. If you see her thumbnails, you want to automatically click on her videos because her expressions are priceless. She's just killing it, and I am so excited for this launch. All right, so let me stop gushing about Angie because I've met Angie, I've hung out with Angie, we hung out in the city and we talked for hours. I met her after work. I was busted, she was beat. Like, we chatted the whole night until the restaurant owner kicked us out because they were like, bitch, we're closing, could you get out, you know? So I'm all about her, and she is how she presents herself on camera. We went on the creators and friends trip as well, and I spent time with her, and she's hilarious in person. We had so much fun staying up late at night and just chatting. So congrats, Angie. I am so excited for you, and I can't wait to see where this brand goes because I'm all about it. All right, so all right, enough gushing about Angie. Let's jump into the actual launch, all right? So, Singe Beauty started out with eyeshadow brushes. There is a set of eyeshadow brushes that debuted a while ago now, and Angie has now extended the line to include a set of face brushes and 2 new eyeshadow brushes, along with a makeup sponge and a puff. Again, I'll have to test those out in a different video, but I have all the brushes to try out and I am so excited about them. So this launched on her website. It is currently available. I don't think they're sold out. Let me see, let me check. No, they're not sold out right now. And you can get a bundle deal on the website with all the face brushes for $145, which is discounted from the full retail price of $167. So if you wanted to get the face brushes, get them in the bundle so you can save some dollars. If you get the 2 eye brushes, the 2 new eye brushes in a set, they are $21, and they have a retail value of $25, which is actually really good for 2 eye brushes from an indie brand that's self-funded. Girl, you are doing it. So that duo is $21. The puff and the sponge, you can get that for $17. And then each of the brushes are available individually. So you can buy singles of the brushes. You do not have to buy them in a set. And her original eyeshadow brushes are also available in a bundle or as individuals on her website. And she has upgraded her shipping. So originally it was just her and her husband Ricardo that was sending out the packages. Now she has a distribution center that she's working with to send out the packages. So the shipments are a little bit faster, even though she did a great job during her initial launch. But now it's more seamless, and she has also upgraded the packaging of the brushes. So now they come in these beautifully designed boxes. I mean, Angie, I'm giving it up to you. The upgrades are phenomenal. So she reinvested her profits. So now we're seeing all that come to fruition, right? So the boxes are beautiful. They're ivory with the orange detail, the orange and pink detail, which is the color of the brushes. So it's looking yellow on camera from what I can tell, but it's more like I would almost say like a mustardy yellow. There's a little hint of orange to it. So the boxes have that yellow and orange theme. Really beautiful. On the boxes, you'll find the brush number, which is prefixed by an E for eye. So those are the eye brushes, or F for the face brushes. I love that. But she doesn't specify like the name of the brush. So it's not called like foundation brush or blush brush. Those I feel like can be a little bit restricted, because if it says blush, then you're only going to use it for blush. She wants these to be multi-purpose brushes, which makes sense, right? Use them however you choose. So they're just numbered, but on the boxes there's also a little bit of a description on how you can use the brushes, which we're going to go through for each of the brushes. But I wanted to show you the packaging up close and personal first of all. And then inside you'll see your fresh brush in plastic. You unseal them and they're ready to go right away. And I'm going to dive into each of the brushes, talk about the shapes, and show you them up close and personal before we get into the demo. So let's talk about the face brushes to start out with. So there are 7 brushes included in this face collection. It says, this 7-piece face brush set elevates your base makeup application and takes it to a whole new level. Each brush is specifically designed to create an easier application process for your base makeup and includes the following brushes. And we'll start out with the F01. This is a foundation or cream product brush to buff in product, all while still allowing for a precise application. This brush I would consider to have a medium size head with medium length bristles that are semi-dense. The top of the brush for me is mostly flat with domed edges. So it's slightly curved at the edges with tapered bristles, but it's a mostly flat brush. And it flares out just a little bit from the base, but it is not overly dense, so we do have some flexibility to the bristles, but they're not overly long and floppy, which is ideal for applying, again, base products, cream products. And since these are synthetic bristles, of course they'll work well with liquid and cream products. Then we have the F02 brush. This is a super soft brush with a pointed tip for precision that's perfect for blend-in concealer or eyeshadow primer without creating streaks. Now this brush intrigued me because it has a similar shape to some beloved brushes in my collection, such as the Rare Beauty concealer brush. It has a similar shape and size. So the head of this brush is small, dense, and angled. Even the ferrule is slanted to follow the shape of the brush. And then the tops of the bristles are slightly domed. And I like to compare the shape of this brush and similar brushes to a fingertip because it has that curved shape, it's slim, it will get into nooks and crannies easily, just like your fingertip would. So I think this is ideal, again, for applying concealer to tight spots or for your eyeshadow primer, bases, or concealer all over your lids. I would even use this for cream eyeshadows all over the lids. I think it's such a great shape. And I did go ahead and grab a couple more of these because I love the shape of this so much. And the bristles are ultra soft, but again, they're shorter and a little bit more dense for moving and blending product around. And then we have the F03 brush. It says here, the brush that balances between firm and flexible. It is perfect for blending out cream product. And I love that the description is not prescriptive, so it doesn't tell you to use it with blush or highlighter or bronzer or foundation. It's just like it's a multi-use product. Use it as you will. Now this brush I would also consider to be medium sized with medium length bristles. It has a round ferrule, so there's no pinch in here. So that creates a rounded shape to the brush, and it has a dome top with tapered bristles around the edges for diffusion. So when you have tapered bristles around the edges of the brush, that helps with blending out your products. And I think this is a great brush for blush or contour. You can also use it for powder application. It's not just a cream brush. Even though it's ideal for cream products, I think this is a great brush. It has a great size for precise application, so applying your blush, or you know, if you want to apply precise contour or bronzer as well. So I think this is a great multi-purpose brush as well. And the bristles are more flexible while still retaining some density, so it's not a floppy brush at all, which again lends to it being multifunctional. Then we have the F04 brush. This is described as a powder brush that picks up product easily. Because of how the bristles are made, the F04 makes it easy to get an even application of product. Now this brush is a paddle shape with a pinched ferrule. So the bristles are tighter at the base and then they flare out. And again, it has a paddle shape or a flat shape. The tops of the bristles are rounded, again with tapered bristles at the edges. So this is going to be great for under eye application right away for powder, because it can get right under your eyes. It's rounded so it can get into precise areas, and it has a medium-sized head as well, which allows for precision. You can also use this brush for applying concealer or foundation, or even cream or liquid blushes on the cheeks. Again, a multifunctional brush, depending on what you prefer to use a paddle shape brush for. I'm not the biggest fan of paddle shape brushes, but if you use these a lot, then you can incorporate it in your routine. Then we have the F05 brush, which is the largest brush from the collection. This one is a medium fluffy round brush, perfect for covering bigger areas with powder products, ideally on the cheeks. And that is true. It's a larger round shaped brush. It has longer bristles than the other brushes that we mentioned so far. And it's a little bit looser in that it has longer bristles that are a little bit more flexible and move a little bit more easily with powder or even cream products. But this is ideal for powder because it's a looser, almost more floppy or fluffy brush. It has a rounded ferrule as well and a domed or rounded top. This you can use for all over powder application. You can even use it for blush because of the size of it. Even though it's the largest brush in the collection, it's still a small size. So if you apply blush a little bit more liberally like I do, then this is still a great brush. And it is a little bit fluffier, so it applies product more diffusely. So you're gonna get a lighter application, not as pigmented, and I really like this brush as well. Then we have the F06, which is a wispy angled brush that is perfect for more pigmented powder products, delivering a feathery, well-blended result. This one is a small angled face brush. It has a rounded ferrule as well, but it splays out into an angular shape that's slightly rounded at the top. It has tapered bristles at the edges as well, but it's not a severe taper. This one is definitely floppier than the other brushes. It's not as densely packed, so it will give you an airy application. You can use this for highlighter, especially if you want a soft application, or if you have a pigmented blush that you just want a light wash of color. You use a brush like this that's a little bit more airy, it's a little bit more floppy, so it's not going to apply product heavily. It's going to give you more of a wash of color. It's also a little bit smaller than the typical angled brush on the market, so if this is a shape that you get a lot of use out of, this would be a great one to pick up to diversify your collection. Then last in the face brush lineup, we have the F07, which is a detailed complexion brush with bristles that allow you to pick up both powder and cream to powder products with ease. This is a smaller, precise face brush with a slightly pinched ferrule. It's only slightly pinched, so it's not quite a paddle shape, but it's a little bit flatter than a rounded brush. It has tapered bristles at the top with a slightly pointed tip, but it's not overly pointed. It's rounded, right? But it's a more precise point. So this would be ideal for precise application of highlighter. That's exactly what I would use this brush for. But if you had any precise pinpoint product application that you wanted to do, such as blush, highlighter, contour even, this would be a great brush. And because it's a smaller face brush, you can also use it for eyeshadow. So if you just want to apply a quick wash of color, or you just wanted to set your primer with a loose dusting of powder, this would be a great brush to incorporate in your routine. And that wraps it up for the face brushes. Now let's jump into the two eyeshadow brushes that have been added to the collection. We have the E06 brush, which is a brush that does it all. Great for packing on color when you want to cover a bit more area but still keep the intensity. Just tip the brush to the side to blend the edges. So this is kind of a hybrid blender shader brush. It has a pinched ferrule, so it's a little bit flatter. It's going to give you that paddle shape of a shader brush, but it has longer bristles that flare out and have a dome top. So that allows you to blend with this brush as well. And the bristles aren't too densely packed. Again, lending to blending eyeshadow. And it's a very versatile brush. You can use it to lay down eyeshadow using the sides of the brush, or use the tips for blending out eyeshadow. And then the last brush that is new to the lineup is the E07. This is a detail brush for the inner corner, lower lash line, or when you need something tiny. This is a tiny, well, I wouldn't even say tiny. It's a small shader brush, but it's more of a precise shader brush because of the size of it. It has a flat paddle style shape and a rounded tip. This is great for applying eyeshadow on the lower lash line. It reminds me of my MAC 242, but it's smaller, so it allows for great precision on the lower lash line, inner tear duct. If you want to use it to apply a pinpoint highlight under your brow, or you want to even cut the crease, this would be an ideal brush for that because of the size and shape. And you can use it with liquid or cream products. So a great addition to the line. And all these brushes feature vegan synthetic bristles. So if you're not into natural hair brushes, here's a line for you with synthetic bristles. It says each brush is vegan and made with synthetic fibers to emulate real hair bristles. The handle contains aluminum, ferrule, and wood, painted with the signature Singe orange color. And I love this color. I think it's a bold statement color that stands out in your collection. If somebody sees me applying product with this brush, they're gonna be like, what's that brush? Because that color is just bold and beautiful. And I love that. It's a beautiful kind of mustard yellow shade. I wouldn't call it orange, but you can see hints of orange in it. It's almost like a sunshine marigold yellow. It's beautiful, it's stunning, it's eye-catching, and the handles are sleek, they're tapered, and they have a decent length to them, which I appreciate. I don't like short handle brushes, so I love that the length is ideal for holding in your hand. The ergonomics were considered here, so it feels good in the hands. They're not heavy, they're not overly weighted or anything, but they don't feel light and cheap. And the ferrules are the shiny black. Overall, I think the aesthetic, the design, beautiful. They are sleek. They look like luxury brushes, but they don't have a luxury price point, which I completely appreciate. The bristles are, again, vegan, and they have this teddy bear brown color to them, which it's a plus or minus, and I'll get into that when I get into the review. But the bristles, even though they're synthetic, are not that shiny, slick, slippery synthetic. they do have a little bit of texture to them, which is key for picking up powder products. The problem with synthetic bristles is that they don't have cuticles. Natural bristles have cuticles. So they have little spikes along the length of the bristle, right? That can grab product and pick product up. With synthetic bristles, they lay flat. So they tend to slide over the top of products, especially powder products. If you have baked products, they can create a hard pan. But technology has improved, and Angie definitely capitalized on that, using bristles that have a little bit of texture to them to pick up both powder and cream products. Even though usually synthetic brushes are best for cream products or cream to powder, these I feel work with powder products as well because of the slight texture to the bristles. All right, I've yapped enough. Let's go ahead and show you the demonstration of these brushes so you can see them in action. I'm going to use every single one of them in a full face application, and I'll also show you how the eye brushes function in this eyeshadow look. So let's go ahead and jump into the demonstration. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick demonstration using these brushes. I'm going to use them obviously in my face application, starting out with the F01, which is a foundation or cream product brush to buff in product, all while still allowing for precise application. This again is a rounded ferrule. It has somewhat of a flat top, as I mentioned. So I'm going to grab my foundation. It's a smaller size brush, so it's not going to be typical to what I use for foundation, which is much larger, right? In surface area, I love my Tarte Foundsealer brush, love it. So this is definitely a smaller brush. It's more for precise application as described, but because of the shape, it definitely will still work for foundation. It's very soft. I am loving this right now, but it's going to take you longer to apply foundation with a brush that's this size. Just keep that in mind. But if you're looking for precision, which sometimes actually works out well for blending out like precise areas of concealer, or maybe you don't want to use foundation all over, then this will be a nice brush for a situation like that. And I did go ahead and order a couple more of these brushes because I love the shape of it. And I can see using this not for foundation necessarily, but for other cream products as it's intended to be used. So think concealer or cream blush. That would be what I will use this for moving forward. But like I said, if you just want to quickly apply some concealer to even out the skin, and you don't want to do a full face of foundation, this would work out. And it's actually really ideal for getting around the nose. So that precise application, yes. And look how it just blended out. And what I'm realizing is it's not as stiff as my other foundation brushes, like I mentioned, that are a little bit more dense and compact. So they tend to be a little bit stiffer. They don't have as much give. This one has a little bit of give. It's not floppy at all, but it applies and blends the product really easily because it has that movement to it. So I really like this brush. And even though it took a little bit longer to apply my foundation, I feel like it still did a pretty good job, and it didn't take that much longer. It wasn't really that much longer at all. And I love how it's allowing me to do, again, that precise blend and application. I like that a lot. All right. The foundation is on, let's do concealer. So I'm just grabbing my new Dior Forever Skin Concealer. I think this was reformulated. So I'm just gonna dot that under my eye and a little bit around my mouth. And we're going to grab the F02, which is a super soft brush with a pointed tip for precision that's perfect for blending concealer or eyeshadow primer without creating streaks. And I love the shape of this brush. It's shaped somewhat like a finger. So it's gonna be perfect for getting into corners. So let's do exactly that under the eyes. Oh, it's very soft as well. And it, blended out seamlessly. Now this concealer is kind of awesome too, but It's blending that product out really easily, really well. That is nice, and it's very comfortable under the eyes because it is so soft. You know what, do you want to come in? Do you want to see a little bit of up close action? So you see, it's moving and blending the product really well. And I love that about these new and improved synthetic brushes. They work well with cream products, right? But these bristles are so soft. They're mimicking animal hair bristles. I love that. Nice. All right, let's do this side. Boom. That is nice. I also ordered a couple more of these brushes because I'm going to use this for contouring my nose. You can see how this brush would work really well for that precise application, which let's do that right now, shall we? So let's grab my cream bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to grab the product on the side of the brush, and let's do a little bit of nose contour. See what I'm saying? It fits so well into that contour of my nose, right? And then I can drag the product down on the side. I'm applying it now on the other side of the brush, doing the same thing to contour and shape my nose. Oh yes, this brush, yes. I am glad I decided to order a couple because I can see myself using this brush for multiple purposes. Like, look how easy that was to create a little bit of shape to the hollow of my nose and eye. I don't necessarily bring my contour all the way down, but this is so easy and effortless to apply that nose contour. And it blended the product out while still like giving me that precise application. Love that. All right, next up we have the F03. This is a brush that balances between firm and flexible. It's perfect for blending out cream products. Let's test that out. Same cream bronzer. I'm going to pick the product up. This brush has a round ferrule, so it's not pinched. And at the top, we have a little bit of a rounded dome top, and it's a little bit tapered. So I'm going to use this to apply my contour to the hollows of my cheeks. And oh my God, these brushes are really impressing me so far. I love how that's applying a contour. Now, this is not necessarily the ideal brush for a contour. I tend to prefer a shape such as the BK Beauty 109 brush because it has that kind of paw shape, so it has that slight angle. But this is still working out great because it's a smaller shape, so I can still get the precision and the blend. That is actually really nice. All right, let's apply some of that to my hairline area. Again, I use a different brush that has a similar shape to the BK Beauty 109 brush, or I'll use the larger version, which is the 101 from BK Beauty. Also a great synthetic brush band, but the bristles feel different, right? So these aren't the slick feel of the BK Beauty bristles. These almost have a drier texture, which is similar to natural hair bristles. They aren't as slick and shiny. This has that natural bristle texture, which I'm really impressed by. So it's blending out and picking up product really well and is ideal for cream products again because it is synthetic. So, all right. Love this little brush as well. I picked up an extra one of this brush. Did I get 3 now? No, I picked up an extra one, so I'm gonna have 2 because I think this brush would also work well for blush, right? You see that, right? Blush. Absolutely looking forward to using it just for that. Now we have the F04 brush. This one is a powder brush that picks up product easily. Because of how the bristles are made, the F04 makes it easy to get an even application of product. Now this one is a flat paddle style brush with tapered bristles as well. So we're going to apply powder with this brush, and I'm gonna grab my loose powder from one size and do exactly that. So we're gonna grab some of the powder on the tip of the brush. I'll knock it off, and I'm going to apply that directly under the eyes. We're not done with cream products necessarily yet, so I just want, ooh, that's soft. That glides under the eyes really well. And because of the shape of it, it fits right into that contour of my eye. And then I also set my nose, so around my nose. Oh yeah, that is nice and soft. I enjoy that. Now, I don't really get a lot of use out of paddle style brushes, but I feel like I can use this for concealer as well to blend that out. I don't have to just use it for powder. I feel like because of the shape and style, I can use it for cream products under the eyes. So that's what I'll use this brush for. Not my go-to kind of shape, but I like it. I did pick up an extra one of these as well. All right, the next brush up is the F05. This is a medium fluffy round brush, perfect for covering bigger areas with powder products, ideally on the cheeks. So this would be considered kind of a blush brush, but you can use these brushes any way you choose. I think this would work for powder as well, all over the face, because it's a larger round brush, larger than the F03. Obviously, right? Larger than the F01 surface area wise, and also definitely larger than the F04. So with this one, it's synthetic, so it's not limited to powder. So let's go in with a cream cheek product. This is my cream blush balm from Giorgio Armani. I'm going to pick some of that product up. The only thing I'll say is, with the color of the bristles, when you use colored cosmetics, you can't really tell how much product you picked up, right? Because it's a darker tone of the bristles. They're not white, so I'm trying to pick up product, but I can't tell just how much I picked up. But I'm going to use this to tap product on my cheek. Ooh. So these bristles are looser and fluffier, which is ideal for powder products. Not necessarily ideal for cream products, because with those bristles you want them to be a little bit more dense, a little bit more packed and firm, but it's fine. I think it's applying this cream product well still, right? Still applying the cream product well, but it's given a very airy wash, again, because it's a floppier brush, or more loose brush. It's fluffier. It's going to give you more of that airbrushed finish. So since we did the cream, let's go in with our powder brush now, using the F06 brush. This is a wispy angled brush that is perfect for more pigmented powder products, delivering a feathery, well-blended result. So this brush is angled, as mentioned. It has almost like a flat top, so the bristles aren't too tapered. It's almost given that paw shape, but in a floppier form. So I'm going to go in with a pigmented blush. So this is from Dior, and I'm just going to apply that to the cheek areas. So like it said, it's gonna give you a feathery, well-blended application, which is ideal for pigmented products. You want it to be an airy wash rather than like punchy pigment. You want to be able to build. And this brush is not my favorite type of shape. If you watched me for a while, you may have noticed I don't use angled brushes on my channel. I don't like angled brushes at all. I just find them useless. I use rounded dome-shaped brushes because I just, you know, I mean, they work. Obviously, this is working, but it's not given. You know what I mean? It's not my ideal brush. I would use this for highlighter because of how floppy it is and how airy it is. I think this would work better for highlighter for me and how I apply my face products, but for you, this might be ideal because it is floppy. It's gonna give you that airbrushed, very light, kind of wispy color on your cheeks from a pigmented product, right? So, not my favorite. I did not pick up a second one of these because I don't love it that much. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go back in with my F05 because this is the one that I would ideally use for my blush, right? So pick it up, sweep it across the cheeks, and it's working well with this powder product. Now I didn't set all of my face down with powder, so I think my blush might be a little bit blotchy, but it's not too bad. This brush, yeah, this is what I would use for blush because I feel like it's still floppy, right? But it's not as floppy as this one. You see, it still has a little bit of density to it. It doesn't move as easily as this one, but depending on like how you apply your products, one or the other might be great. And this one is larger, obviously, so I'm gonna get more surface area, but I just sweet blush on, girl, so it doesn't even matter. All right, now I should have really powdered the rest of my face because next we're gonna go in with highlighter because we have a detail brush. So for that, let me just quickly powder the rest of my face. Kosas powder as usual, and my Smashbox Kabuki brush. I love a Kabuki brush for all over set because I'm literally done. As easy as that. All right, let's do the highlighter now. So going in with my MAC highlighter from last holiday and the F07, which is a detailed complexion brush with bristles that allow you to pick up both powder or cream to powder products with ease. And I use this in my eyeshadow look. It can kind of double as a large eyeshadow brush, or like a large blending brush, if you just want a wash of color on your lids. So I do like a brush like this, a size like this, to apply my transition shade in my crease. I think it works really well. So this brush would have multiple purposes for me. I think you can also use it under the eyes for your loose powder around the nose, similar to how we use the F04 in this look, right? To apply powder under the eyes or around the nose. But this can be used in the same way. It's just a smaller brush, obviously, right? And we're gonna use it for precise application of this highlighter and pop it on the cheek. I have not been using highlighter a lot, and honestly, truly, I never really got into highlighter anyway, so not that big a deal. It works really well for that precise application, but I feel like I'll use this more for under the eyes, all over my eyelids for a transition shade, and then like around my nose, kind of again like we use that F04 brush. What I would use for the highlighter is this F06 brush, right? It's floppy, it's light, it's gonna pick up a light wash of the color and then airbrush it on the cheeks. So this is gonna be my highlighter brush of choice. Like you see, it acts almost like a fan brush in that sense. It just, you know, airy little wash of highlighter. I mess with it. So these two brushes are gonna be interchangeable for precise application for me of highlighter. But again, you can use these brushes whichever way works for you and your techniques, your application method, like whatever works for you. So let it be, right? All right, now let's talk about the eyeshadow brushes. First off, we have the E06. This is a brush that does it all. It's great for packing on color when you want to cover a bit more area but still keep the intensity. Just tip the brush to the side to blend the edges. And I agree with that. This is a multi-purpose eyeshadow brush. I used it in this eyeshadow look to apply color on my lids as well as to blend out the edges, and it worked really well for that. It picked up my matte eyeshadow really easily, really effortlessly, which is kind of tricky when it comes to synthetic bristles because, again, the bristles tend to be a little bit smoother. There's no cuticle, but these bristles just work well with those matte shades. It laid down the color really well. I was able to build up the pigmentation, but then also I could turn it on the side and use it to blend out the edges. So I definitely like this brush. I think it's a great addition to the line. It is kind of a cross between a blender and a shader brush, and I absolutely love it. The bristles are a little bit longer, which is that blender side of it, but it's a flat, more pinched shape, kind of like a paddle shape. So it's going to function as a shader brush when you lay it flat. So yeah, great brush. I think Angie did a great job with including this brush in the line. And then we have the final brush, which is the E07. This is a detail brush for the inner corner, lower lash line, or when you need something tiny. And again, I think this is a great addition to the line because it's going to allow you to run shadow on that lower lash line area and get right up against the lashes. Great for that. You can also use it along the lash line, the upper lash line, to smoke out a liner because it's a thin brush, but it's soft and it moves, so it will allow you to kind of blend and smudge eyeshadow or eyeliner. I think it's great. And again, you can use it on the inner tear duct for that precise application, which I used it again in this look for that inner tear duct, and it worked so well as on the lower lash line. I think this is a nice brush. Again, a great addition to the line. Is this a brush that I will use a lot? Not necessarily, because it's not as versatile as the E06. I think the E06 is a champion brush, but this brush is still great for that precise application, right? For when you need it for that purpose. And I think the brush set is priced right, so you can't go wrong with picking these two eyeshadow brushes up. So there you have it. I have used all these brushes in my look, so let me go ahead and finish up with my final thoughts about this new extension of the Singe Beauty brush line. All right, so now that we run through all the details, you've seen the demonstration, you've kind of got my initial thoughts about the brushes, let's go ahead and jump into my overall thoughts and review. So let's start out with the price point. The makeup sponge and the puff that I wasn't able to test out in this video, they're coming to me soon. You can get them in a set for $17. The individual makeup sponge is $10, and then the powder puff will be $9. And like I mentioned, you can buy the full set of face brushes for $145 and the two-piece eye brush set for $21, but each of the brushes are available individually. The F01 and the F03 are both $25. The F02 and F04 are $24, so $1 cheaper. And then the most expensive one is the F05, which is $26. That's the largest brush from the collection. The F06 is $22 and the F07 is $21. The eyeshadow brushes, E06 is $13 and the E07 is $12 in case you wanted to pick them up individually, which I think those price points are great. I mean, come on. No brush is over $26. For face brushes, that's kind of unheard of, which I think is really commendable for a new indie brand to create these high quality brushes that look beautiful, have this unique customized design to the handles with this beautiful color, and the shapes are not shapes that we're used to on the market, and they're still maintaining a price point that is more approachable for the majority of us. I mean, brushes can get expensive. No one's trying to spend $30, $50 on a face brush. So for all these price points to be $26 or less, I think is fantastic. So kudos to Angie and her team for creating brushes and maintaining a more affordable price point for us, all right? It's great to see, and I love that more people will be able to afford these brushes and support the brand, because I can't wait to see what else is in store. And with that being said, let's talk about the packaging, which is stunning. I love this upgrade. The previous collection, the initial launch, came in just plastic sleeves. Now we have boxes, and look at the design. I mean, Angie, you outdid yourself. I love the colors. I love the design of the box. It's sleek, it's beautiful, absolutely love it. But even more than that, I love the design of the brushes. They're sleek, they're beautiful. The handle color is so stunning. I love this mustardy orange. Beautiful. Singe Beauty, and the number of the brush is printed on the handles in black. I love that. The ferrules are black. I just think this brush looks amazing, and it feels amazing in the hands. The quality is there. The bristles are beautiful. Everything about how these brushes look and feel, stunning. The bristles are also extremely soft, which I expect with synthetic, but these are really soft. With the eye brushes, the initial ones, they're a little scratchy. Not gonna lie, they were a little scratchy, and your eyes are more sensitive. So I'm used to natural hair bristles, goat bristles, you know, I buy Fude, expensive brushes. So I expected those to feel a little bit different, right? Because I go for ultra soft, but the face brushes, oh, I don't know if she changed the bristles or what, but the quality is there. These are so soft, and they blend product out so well. You know what? Let's jump into the product and the performance, because that's what I'm really talking about now. These perform so well. I am so excited about these brushes. Like I said, the bristles are soft. They feel very comfortable on the skin. The eye brushes too feel very comfortable on the eyes. Even on the lower lash line, the F07, very comfortable, very soft, not scratchy at all. I love this brush. I will be using it more because I mean, I don't feel anything. And under your eye, very sensitive. So love that brush. But overall, all the bristles are soft, but they're not too soft where they create hard pan on powder products, which again is a problem with synthetic bristles. These have a little bit of texture to them, so they grab powder really well, they blend and buff product on the skin really well, and they feel comfortable in the hands. The handles are just the right length. I'm just over the moon with the design of the brushes. The only thing I will mention are the sizes, which I kind of had the same comment about the original eye brushes. They're small. They're very small. They're for precise application. They're for smaller eyes, or if you just prefer smaller brushes, which is what Angie prefers. She prefers to use smaller brushes for precise application. And she did the same thing with the face brushes, which can be a plus or a minus, depending on how you apply your makeup, what your preferences are. For me, I prefer larger brushes. You'll see my blush brush is larger than any of these brushes overall. Like, this is from Sydney Grace. It's another synthetic brush, but large brushes. My foundation brush, which is, you know, a little bit messy right now, larger than any of these brushes, right? So I prefer a larger face brush, and with your face, you kind of want to apply things in one fell swoop. Like, you don't want to spend a lot of time blending and buffing product all over your face, right? So that could be a drawback for you. However, I found that I enjoyed the size of these brushes. I didn't mind them being smaller. Even with the foundation brush, which one did I use for foundation? Oh my goodness, did I lose it? No, here it is. This one, small, right? Very small surface area. And I was like, oh, this is gonna take forever to apply my foundation. But I was enjoying applying my foundation with it. I thought that was interesting because usually I'd be like, oh my God, it's taking forever. No, it was enjoyable. And I was able to get in all the nooks and crannies, which I almost feel like is better. Was I mistaken all this time? I don't know, but I really enjoyed applying my foundation with this brush. Would I do that all the time? Probably not. But if I wanted to do something quick where I don't want to do like a full face, I'm definitely pulling this brush out. Concealer around my nose, around my mouth, boom, 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 done. Love it. So I did enjoy the size of the brushes, even though that was the one apprehension I had. I was like, is this gonna be okay for me? Angie, you like small brushes? I have a big face. I need to be one and done, girl. But hey, she's onto something because I really did enjoy using these brushes. And I mentioned in the demo that I went ahead and grabbed some more of these brushes. One, to support, but two, really because I want more of these brushes. So these were all sent to me and I went ahead and ordered some more. So I ordered 2 more of the F01 because I really love this, and I will use it for concealer, foundation, cream bronzer, cream blush because of the shape. I like the flat top. I think it's gonna be a really versatile brush in my collection, so I wanted more of these. So F01, highly recommend. F02, also picked up multiples of this guy because, I mean, come on. It's so great for under the eyes. It's really soft. Blending out concealer was a dream. Getting in the nooks and crannies, a dream. Contouring my face. This is gonna be my go-to brush for that. It's so good, so soft, so blendable, so easy. I love it, and I love that little finger shape to it because it can get into those corners. Love this brush so much. Multiples, I picked up 2 more, so I'm gonna have 3. Both of these I'm gonna have 3 of. Then I would say my next favorite is the F03 for blush. I only picked up 1 more of these because I wanted to get one for my blush because I like to go in between washes. So love this. It's a great round brush with a great size and shape for blush, right? So I'm gonna use this for cream blush especially because it's synthetic. Great, love this brush. I grabbed 1 more of the F04 because I like it for powder under the eyes. I think I'm gonna get great results using this with concealer and with powder under the eyes. It's a paddle shaped brush, which is not one that I gravitate to a lot, but I'm gonna use it because it's really soft. So I picked up an extra of this one as well. And the F05 also picked up an extra one because, again, for powder blush, I think this is gonna be great. It's the largest brush from the collection, so I wanted to grab it for that purpose, and it's fantastic. So not my favorite brush from the collection. My top favorites, again, are the F01, F02, and F03 in that order. Oh my god, wow. So the other brush that I like enough is this F05, so I got 2 of these. The one that I didn't pick up another one of is the F06. This one, the angled brush, I don't care about an angled brush. I never use an angled face brush. I'm not going to use this for blush. I'm not going to use it for anything other than highlight, and I don't use highlight that much. So one and done. One is good enough for me. I just don't like this shape of brush, but I think it's great for highlight because it's airy and it's better than a fan brush, which is why I picked it up. It's like my substitute to a fan brush. You know how people have those fan brushes for highlight and they're like, nee, nee, nee. I'm like, no, 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 no. This is my fan brush now because it's floppy. It's nice and small, and I think it's gonna allow me to apply my highlighter in a very diffused light manner, which is what I prefer. So one and done, but it's cute. And if you like this style of brush, then maybe this one is for you. I also didn't pick up the eyeshadow brushes. I might though. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might pick up more of the E07 for under the lash line. But I have so many eye brushes that I didn't feel like I needed to get anymore. But both of these eyeshadow brushes I really like, and I prefer them over the other eyeshadow brushes. Just because of the sizes, I didn't love these as much. I didn't. And these are better for me for how I apply eyeshadow. So these, to me, are an improvement. I'm just saying, and these are ultra soft. The eye brushes from the original set were a little scratchy. Don't come for me, Angie. They're a little scratchy. And that's just because, again, I am used to Fude. But these are ultra soft. So I will be using more of these. And they worked really well in my eyeshadow application. So I love these. So thanks, Angie, again for sending these my way. I was going to pick them up anyway, just so you know. But when they reached out to me, I was like, girl, send them. What? Send them. And I did go and pick up extras. So either way, I was getting them, and I didn't just get them to support Angie. I got them because I really like the brushes. So let me know if you picked any of these brushes up. Let me know if you're intending on picking them up. They're still available, and I think Angie did a really good job. I think a lot of these brushes are gonna be staples in my collection. They're multifunctional, so they're not like restricted to one purpose. And I think she did a great job with the design. And you may be onto something with these smaller face brushes, Angie. I'm onto you. You over here spreading your tips and tricks. I'm picking up what you're putting down because I really enjoy the brushes. So congrats again to Angie. I hope this video was helpful in deciding whether or not you wanted to go ahead and pick these brushes up. Again, I think the price point is great. I think the quality is there. You're not gonna hate these brushes, okay? They're beautiful. I love them. So let me know what you guys think. I will leave links down below where you can pick them up through the Singe Beauty website. I'm just saying, I like these. I'll also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter where you can follow me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.